We are hoping to get at least, I think we're gonna break 3,000, but for sure we got 2,500, so that's great news. And there are, actually, where's Miss Avery?
Here I am.
How many seats do we have set up? How many can we do at a
20
time?
stations.
20 stations, so we can do 20 at a time then?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Back in the spring of 2002, when I walked into my class, you know, I was having a difficult time. My sister had just told me and my family that her cancer had returned. I decided that I needed to do something to help her. And I would see how, you know, how she would be uncomfortable in public. And I just wanted to take that away from her. So the only way I could think of to do that was to shave my head. And when I told my students that I was going to be shaving my head to support her, 3 or 4 of the boys in back immediately volunteered to do it with me. And that's when I knew there was something special to this.
He would always come into our classrooms every year and talk about his sister and how it got started, just to kind of get kids involved.
You know, I started talking to my other classes, I talked to some other teachers, and by the time we actually had that first event, we had 36 people at Lakeshore going bald for bucks.
The fact that these high school kids wanted to shave their heads to support their teacher is just a really beautiful thing and kind of speaks for itself on Tony's behalf.
So 36 bald heads walking around Lakeshore seemed like a great thing. Certainly it was an opportunity for me to help my sister. Bald for Bucks gave her motivation to get up, get out of bed, so she came down and shaved my head in 2003 as well. Unfortunately, in 2004, we were planning for her to shave my head one more time, but she passed away 6 weeks prior. That's tough for me to talk about a bit. I was just being empathetic. My sister lost her fight with cancer, but there are thousands of other people out there that are continuing to fight with cancer. And I wanted to make sure I helped them as well.
He came along and opened up his whole family life and then let everybody jump on board of that, and that was probably his support system looking back on it.
You carry a lot of emotion, and it can take you one of 2 ways. And if you want to move forward, I think the best way to move forward is to create something. You can remember people you love in a way that reaches out to a lot of people and understand what you're doing and why you're doing, but it's not about you. It's bigger than that. It's about the cause.
I started talking to teachers in other districts and started spreading the word, and it quickly became an opportunity to demonstrate to students and to the greater community what it means to be part of a society that looks out for one another.
There seems to be a new energy when the Bald for Bucks event starts to roll around, you know. It's a little buzz.
Everybody in the whole school, they're all inside the gym, they're all like stomping on the bleachers, because it's a big event for especially elementary.
My role was to go to the schools, pump everybody up with my bald head already.
He's like, yo, 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 DJ Anthony in the house.
And he's like, hello, North College! What?
The energy was already around it because it was such an important cause. My job was to just try to do what I can on my end to match that energy and help as a team elevate it.
When you hear that razor start to go off, it still doesn't hit you that you're going bald. Like for me, it never hit me beforehand that I was going bald. It just hit me that I'm donating towards cancer and I'm doing something good for cancer.
When I say, hey, how many people in the room here have been affected by cancer? And you see like 1 out of every 3 kids raise their hand. They're all in it together. I mean, it's such a support system.
It's an ingenious way that he created to get people to understand this disease. He turned the whole situation, I hate to say, on its head.
Hundreds of students around Western New York doing it. So they're the ones that, you know, deserve the credit. I mean, if you're gonna ask me the one event that stands out is, I don't know, man, I met Marty Baron through this. This is like the most amazing thing.
I do it for the people. I do it for the community. I do it for what it stands for.
The amount of people that come up to me and mention it, hey, I saw you on the Sabres broadcast. How'd you get them to do that now that they're just doing it on their own beyond it helps keep it alive. It helps keep it on the public mind.
So many fans that come by the set on the 200 level and they're like, hey, Marty, I'm getting my head shaved again next year or next month, or I'm doing it for this, or kids that are coming by and say, hey, we had our event at the school, and I've gone to a few schools. I've gone to North Collins and gone to that school and seen what they do.
I took over last year Ball for Bucks at North Collins, and we had a very successful year. We raised over $38,000, which was incredible. It's the kids.
You definitely look like somebody that cares and it's a leader in your school when you're going Ball for Bucks. Like, you're just taking your leadership to a whole nother level.
After Balls for Bucks, when I felt like I kind of grew out of it in high school, I found other ways to still give back. Since I've started fundraising for Roswell, I've raised over $25,000. Balls for Bucks started since the first $10 that I ever threw in up until the $25,000. Balls for Bucks is what started at the beginning.
To see these kids in middle school, grade school kids and high school kids being so socially responsible, I've seen what it means to people, what it means to our cancer patients, their family members and survivors.
When there is motivation to help someone, cancer patients or people with cancer, or even caregivers who, all of it, that's the motivation for keeping it going, that it's going to help the next person.
Can't stress enough how much it meant to my sister. And we're Southdowners, so when we're coming into Skyway, we get off the 190 South, we take the Elm Street, and there's Roswell Park, right? You can see it as you come down the street. You can see the banner at the top of the hospital. And that was so heartwarming to my sister. Because I would ask her, I'm like, are you okay about going to this appointment? Are you okay about going through this treatment? She goes, Tony, I know there's thousands of people there that are all trying to find a cure for cancer to help me.
If you have cancer and you need to have treatment and you want to beat it, you want to go to Roswell. The students know that too, and the community knows that. I think it helps them want to participate more, because they're like, well, Roswell Park helped save my grandma. What can I do to give back to them?
Events like Ball for Bucks, right, are geared towards supporting innovative ideas from our Roswell Park faculty, supporting novel ideas and discoveries that the ideas actually get to grow because of these funds. So these are privileged dollars that people shave their heads and raise money for.
The fact that I never thought it was going to be anything dramatic, or never had a roadmap of what I wanted to accomplish, is what allowed it to become what it is. Ball for Bucks has raised over $6 million.
Tony George has created a legacy that reaches beyond his own classroom and classrooms throughout our area.
I think Tony is one of those big reasons why, I became an educator, and I want to inspire my kids in the future.
This whole movement, Ball for Bucks, Roswell Park, being a part of all these families, hearing all these stories, talk about not feeling alone now. It made me really take a step back and think about what's important in life. And this program is very important. It changed me.
Mr. George, he's the person who started this all for me. The pathways that he's opened for me, inspiration that I've given to other kids to start fundraising back home, I think I genuinely, obviously, all owe it to him.
He's a respected teacher, he's a respected human being, and liked. If kids don't like you, they're not going to support you. So he was well liked for kids to say, hey, I'm going to support you.
Tony is my inspiration. I started this in 13 years ago for the first time because I had lost one of my close friends. Even if I wasn't at Roswell, I would do this because of Tony. Thank you for your vision in creating this. This to me is also the long-lasting legacy for your sister. And I know she's incredibly proud of you.
There goes Tony for all the torturous things that the big brother did to me when we were growing up. I gotta say, Tone, thank you very much.
So do we look more alike now, Kathy?